string collection. We'll use that process. Autocomplete string collection. So how do you do that is, we'll select employee name, and for employee name, we want to do that process for employee name, right? Based on character that you press, you should get name, and based on that name, you should get ID and salary. We don't go for photo now. Already two times we have written the same logic. We'll just go for name and ID and salary based on employee name, whatever you select in the employee name. Okay, for that, what to do? Select the form, double click. That will generate form load event. Here I write get name, some method. Write that method. Private void get name. Then you require SQL connection con equal to new SQL connection helper dot connection string SQL command cmd equal to new SQL command, and you want to get what you want to get is query. Select emp name from emp. Bind the command with the connection. Yes, that will get all the employee names. You want this names to get added uh, into what text box. So for that, what I do is, I'll say here con dot open the connection, SQL data reader dr cmd dot execute reader while dr dot read. Then I use here, you have to create autocomplete string collection sc new constructor sc dot add dr of 0 dot to string. Then txt emp name dot autocomplete source equal to sc txt emp id sorry txt emp name dot autocomplete mode equal to autocomplete mode dot suggest append. Then txt emp name dot autocomplete custom source equal to autocomplete source dot custom source, and here I should write sc string collection. Put this on top. Yes, let's run the code. Close the connection. Con dot close. Yes, if you run a code now, you can see there. Especially for employee name, we are focused on employee name. Yes, executed. Put your cursor in employee name. Press A. You got all the names that start with A. If I say R, all the names starts with R. If I say S, we don't have any names. I, we don't have. A, two names are there. R, two names are there. F, two names are there. Fawaz, Fayaz. So depending on whichever character, that name will be extracted. Now what do you want exactly? If I select Arham and if I press enter, then I should get ID and salary of the selected employee. So this is the logic of getting those names. This is the logic. This is the logic of getting those names. Next, what do you need? You want to get now ID and salary. ID and salary. When after pressing enter key you want that. So select employee name. You have to go to events, first to properties, right click, properties, go to events. There is an event called key down event. Double click. Okay. Here what you have to do, you have to say first, if e dot key code is equal to keys dot enter key, means when you press enter key, then this story should happen after pressing enter key, not direct. When you press enter key, then the process should happen. Why it got struck up? Mm, why it is hanged? Mm, will automatically report this delay to Microsoft using a Visual Studio Experience Import. Visual Studio and task. Key down here. What is the logic I was writing? If e dot key code is equal to keys dot enter key, means after pressing enter key, it should go with the logic. Now you should write SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection helper dot connection string SQL command cmd equal to new SQL command query. Select EMP ID, EMP salary from EMP where EMP ID EMP name equal to open single quote concatenate txt EMP name dot text, then close single quote, comma, bind the command with the connection, semicolon. Done. Now you have to open the connection. SQL data reader dr equal to cmd dot execute reader dr dot read. Then you have to say txt emp id dot text equal to dr of 0 dot to string txt emp name sorry txt emp salary dot text equal to dr of 1 dot to string. Then after you have to say con dot close. That's it. Let's see how does it run. Execute the code. Now same. Put your cursor in employee name. Press A. I got the name selected. Select the name Ahmed. Press enter. I got ID and salary. If I select R, select Raghav, press enter. Raghav's ID and salary. If I select F, Fawaz, ID. If I select Fayaz, ID and salary. Yes, it's working. This is the logic. Now, next, one more, the last technique of retrieval. And what is the technique is, so I need then two tables. Then only I can retrieve my data. So what to do? How to get the another table? Okay, so I'll do it in SQL Server. Management Studio. Open Management Studio. I'll dump another table here in this MS Demo DB database. I'll create one more table because the next topic requires support of two tables. So for that reason, already EMP is there, which is containing 6 to 7 rows in it. I'll get another table also. Already it's there in our other database. I'll just dump it into your this one, MS Demo DB. I have one table here by name called department. Yes, I want this to dump into there. Select star demo db dot dbo dot department from department. That's it. Execute. Okay. Close. Exit. Okay. Now I have two tables. I want to retrieve data of both the tables. So go to toolbox. Now you place a button. Place a button. Yes. Here I'll write get EMP and department content both. So go to properties and I'll write here text get EMP and department. Get EMP and department. Then here I'll give BTN tab 2, two tables data. Okay, little compress will compress. Now double click on this button. Two logics I should write. SQL connection con1, con equal to new SQL connection, helper dot connection string. SQL command cmd1 equal to new SQL command. Select emp id, emp name, emp salary from emp. Bind the command with the connection. SQL command cmd2 equal to new SQL command. Select department number, department name, location from department. Bind the command with the connection. Two queries. First query I'll read. How do you read? Open the connection. Then you have to say SQL data reader dr is equal to cmd1 dot execute reader string s equal to blank space while dr dot read all in one line. I'll wind up s plus equal to dr of 0 plus slash t plus dr of 1 plus slash t plus dr of 2 plus slash n. I even want to display that message box dot show of s. Again dr equal to cmd2 dot execute reader. Again s equal to blank space. Same logic I'll write because there also we have three columns. And again I'll say message box dot show of s. Close the connection. So first dr is going to retrieve data of emp table. Second time dr is going to get the data of department table. Save this. Go for it. This will end up with error now. Click first. Okay, this emp table content you can find. When I say OK, it will give error. Message is there is already an open data reader associated with this command, which must be closed first. Means now there are two solutions for this. Either use two separate data reader objects, read one after the other, both queries data, or already one data reader object is open, close that. Any one you do. Still you want with one single object you want to read data, and still you want that content should be of in the one after the other without closing data reader object, then you should go to app.config now. Go to Solution Explorer, app.config, open, and here you should add here semicolon multiple active result sets equal to true. That is what you call mars. Save. Close this file. Earlier we were getting error. Because of that option added now, you'll have direct execution of second tip query data. Multiple active keyword not supported. Achha. Multiple where we are found. Oh, sorry, we might have created spaces there. Okay. Yeah, this is one word, yeah. Multiple active result sets. We give spaces in a flow. Okay, equal to true. Okay, close this. Now it should work. Execute. Click. EMP table. Department table. Both of them are working. Because of what added? Mars added. Okay. Now we are going to learn next part. Same operations only, no doubt. But we are trying to do this now using stored procedures. What do you want to do? You want to use now stored procedures. Stored procedure is what now? It is all related with programming in SQL Server. Programming in SQL Server, right? So approach will be different. I'll cover three scenarios on this topic. All three scenarios will help you to write any sort of concept of stored procedures for real time. Round and round, any concept you take of stored procedure, the concept goes around these three scenarios only. So let's see how to do it. Start. Server Explorer. Expand the connection. Yes. Here I have stored procedure. Right click. Add new stored procedure. Yes. I'll remove this and type my own command. Create procedure. Complete word you can write or only PROC. Anyways is fine. Your wish. Procedure name I'll give as get salary at the rate ID, which is of integer, at the rate salary, money, output. Now interesting thing. And that point is ID is input parameter, salary is output parameter. And in this stored procedure now, I have created two parameters, one input and one output. Actually, the story says in stored procedures of SQL Server, one procedure can have 1024 input parameters and 1024 output parameters. Altogether, it can be up to 2048 parameters. So for output, you have to write that keyword output compulsory. For input, you don't need to write. We don't have even a keyword for that. When you don't write anything, default it comes under what? Input parameter. Okay. So one input now, one output. Okay. Now what do you want to do? You want to say as usual, as, begin, end. Here you have to write. What do you have to write? Select at the rate sal from EMP, where EMP ID equals to at the rate ID. This is the stored procedure which I have created. Okay. Now what do you want to do? Here, click on update. Click on update database. Yes, update completed successfully. Now stored procedure is ready. Parameters we represent in SQL Server with at the rate. Okay, at the rate. So what are they called? At the rate, when you write, they are treated always as local variables in SQL Server. Programming में under T-SQL part, at the rate whenever you create, it is always treated as what? Local variables. Plus they are also called scalar variable. Why they are called scalar variable? Because they can store only one value. For that reason it is called. Okay, here we did mistake actually. uh, Select where, what you have to select. I said salary, you have to get from EMP salary. Yeah, now it will work. Select EMP salary from EMP, and that you want to get into SAL. Now update once again update database. Yeah, update complete. Okay. This was for creation. This is for altering. Okay. Anyways, both of them are successful. Close this. Now you have to get this through C sharp program. So for that, now I go to toolbox, place a button. Yes. And here after creating this button, I say right click, go to properties, text property, get salary. Some name you give, get salary. How to identify that it is a stored procedure? So I better call like execute. I'll write execute exec get salary proc. I'll write like this so that you can understand at least by text. Yeah. Then name you have to give name here. BTN get salary proc. Okay. Now save. Double click. Only difference now is now your program does not contain query because query is already there and it is a part of stored procedure. Double click on this. Now, few changes are there in the coding part. First, connection remains same. Connection con equals to new SQL connection helper dot connection string. Then SQL command cmd equal to new SQL command. Normally we used to write query here. Now in place of query, you're going to call stored procedure name and you have to bind with the connection. Okay. Get salary is a stored procedure name. Bind the command with the connection. Now compulsory statement. Earlier we didn't write, but here for stored procedures compulsory. cmd dot command type is equal to command type dot stored procedure. Without it, stored procedure cannot be executed. Stored procedure cannot be executed. Okay, command type dot stored procedure compulsory. Then something important. Two parameters are there. Two parameters. So that parameter explanation also you should give in C sharp. So for that we got a class SQL parameter, parameter ID, new SQL parameter @ID, comma SQL uh, parameter type you have to explain. Here SQL DB type dot integer, that is for ID. Second parameter, parameter SAL equal to new SQL parameter @ I don't remember what parameter I gave. Just we'll see here. Refresh. Okay. Go to stored procedures. Get salary. SAL. So I should give the same here. @SAL. Data type. SQL DB type dot money. Yes. Semicolon. Now, one input, one output we have. For output, you have to explain. This is also compulsory. Parameter salary dot direction equal to parameter direction dot output. Oh yeah. Over. Output parameter also you have explained to C sharp. Now rule. All these parameters you have to add it to command object. So you should write cmd dot parameters dot add para id, then cmd dot parameters dot add parameter salary, semicolon. Now, for ID and salary, if you compare, there should be a value for ID. You should give value for ID. That will manage to text box. Input parameter. So to do that, what I will do, here I say parameter ID dot value is equal to int dot parse txt emp id dot text. Okay, this will get value for employee ID. Now you have to open the connection. Then you have to say execute non-query. Then close the connection. But data has come that should be retrieved now. So after closing also we can do txt emp salary dot text is equal to parameter salary dot value dot toString. That's over. Let's try. Execute the code and try. Yes. ID, I'll give 1. Get salary, 1000. If I give 2, salary. If I give 7, salary. If I give 6, salary. If I give 5, for 5 there is no salary. For 5. So I have to check whether you have salary or not. If there is no salary, I should get no salary there. So especially to deal with that, I have to add one if condition. After closing a connection, you can do that. If parameter salary dot value is equal to, you have to check whether it is containing value or not. So there is one class. What is the class? Just 1 second, please. There is a class I'm unable to recollect. That will check null values in stored procedure. As yesterday, what we studied was is db null. Yesterday, that was a method. Here, class is there. Class. If salary whatever is retrieved is containing a null value. So how to identify null is db null? No, is disposed we have. Is db null? No. Null value. Here, sorry. db null. Yes. db null dot value. Yes, correct. db null dot value. This will check. If it is null value, txt emp salary dot text equal to, I'll write no salary. Else get the salary. Yeah, now it should work. One. Okay. 2. Okay. 7. Okay. 5. No salary. It's working. So normal query execution process is different. Stored procedure process is different. So this was a stored procedure which we created for retrieval of data. What I retrieved is salary. Based on what I retrieved is ID. And how you retrieved is using stored procedure. Okay, now we will try one more example in stored procedures. One more example. This time we will do insert operation. Insert operation. This time we will try for insert operation. So go to Server Explorer, right click on stored procedures, add new stored procedure. Okay. Create procedure insert emp @id integer output @en varchar 20 @esal money. Three parameters. In that, only for one I have written output, that is id. The other two are input parameters. As begin. Insert into emp. I want to insert only name and salary, values @en @esal. esal. And for that inserted row, you'll get identity value. That identity value you have to extract. Select @id is equals to @identity. End. Update. Update database. Successful. Close. Now you have to keep a button here for executing second logic. Toolbox. Place a button. Then I go to properties and I give text as execute insert emp procedure. Name btn insert emp procedure. But double click on this. Same rules you have to follow. Go on top. Save. Copy all this. Till here, code maximum things as I'll make small changes here. Okay. Now procedure name is not this. Procedure name I gave insert emp. Procedure. Parameters, how many are there? ID is there. Name is also there this time. SQL parameter en, new SQL parameter @ check the parameter here. En, parameter name is en, @en, comma, SQL DB type dot varchar, comma 20. Yes. Which is output parameter, ID is output parameter this time, not salary. ID dot, okay, parameter ID is already added. Now we have to cmd dot parameters dot add parameter en, employee name, and then salary. All parameters you have specified. ID is output now. So instead of writing last, we'll do then and there. Here, parameter itself. Here only I'll give. Okay. ID. Name is there, salary is there, all we added. What are your inputs here? Name and salary are inputs. Name and salary. So go for it. Parameter en dot value is equal to txt emp name dot text. Parameter es parameter sal dot value is equal to txt emp salary dot text. Parameter salary. These are two inputs. Now you have to open the connection. Con dot open. cmd dot execute non-query. Con dot close. txt emp id dot text is equal to parameter id dot value dot toString. First, I'll open the table and keep ready so that we can justify that data has been inserted into your table. Right click, show table data. Already 8 records are there, 7 are there, 1 I deleted actually. Last ID is 8. Okay, we'll continue that. Execute the code. Here, name, salary, 9,000. Click on insert. Expect parameter esal, which was not supplied. Oh, somewhere some error is there in the code. Logic runtime error it is. Where it is, you see? Oh, here. What is the parameter name you see here? Stored procedure. Esal parameter. I gave SAL. There's a reason. There's a yeah. Esal. It's case sensitive. Should match same term. A small letter. Yeah. Now it should work. Hope. Try. Execute. Name 9,009. We got the value there. ID. Insert it. Check your table now. Go to EMP table. Refresh. Yes. Ninth row. Add. Add it through stored procedure. That's it. Right. Tomorrow's class, I'll cover one more example on stored procedure.